Want to talk about top decks to get legend for the month of August. I'm probably going to do another one of these for September, but you know, it's the meta is still, it's not too stable. So I thought I'd get one of these out for August. Now these stats are provided by Vicious Syndicate. So thanks to Vicious Syndicate, I'll link them in the description below. Read the report if you want a little more detail than I can give you in this video. Always a fantastic read and they come out every week. So let's go ahead and jump into things. So looking at class archetype distribution at all ranks, we could see Rogue is definitely the front runner here. And then we got Paladin, Priest, Mage. And this actually changes quite a bit. If we go D1 to D4, which is Diamond 1 to Diamond 4, you can see a lot more Paladin, a lot more Rogue, and not really much of anything else. Those are just so far ahead. And then you got Priest, Druid, and Warrior. If we look at Legend, even more Rogue, and then Paladin kind of falls back. Paladin is one of those decks that I think it does well in lower ranks. It's really easy to learn. Not too many choices you really have to make, and it performs well. Now, once you start running into more rogues, they can sap, and if you put a bunch of Librams on a target or you put a big buff on a target and they sap it, you're kind of screwed. So that's why there's not too many Paladins the higher up you get. If you look at top 1K Legend, even less Paladin, right there by Shaman. Number 1 is Rogue. Aggro Rogue seems to be a problem, and it kind of shapes the meta. And then we got a lot of Guardian Druid. Druid is just absolutely insane because of overgrowth and then being able to play Guardian. Guardian has an incredibly high win rate. If you have it early or in your mulligan or you play it, it's insane. But does that card need to be touched because it's only popular at top 1K Legend? I personally hope it does. Anyways, let's look at class frequency. By week is way too messy. So let's look at by day. We could see Rogue gaining a ton of popularity here as people realize it's really good. It seems like people are slowly moving away from the Dancer archetype into the Stealth archetype, which I actually have a video of if you want to check that out. It's so good, so much pressure, and it's an aggro deck that doesn't seem to run out of steam. I think generally aggro decks run out of steam. That's kind of what kills the aggro decks, right? You try and kill your opponent. If they got too many answers, you run out of gas, they turn the corner, they win. But with Rogue, they got Secret Passage, 1 mana, draw 5, dump your entire hand, and then they have a lot of other draw through like the Greyheart Sage and all that stuff. So Rogue is super good. Paladin, you could see started off super popular and kind of just dove as people learned how to deal with it. Everything else kind of stable here. Seems like Warriors is getting a little more popular because it's just good. Risky Skipper, also pretty solid against Rogues because they have a lot of 1 health minions that you can't actually target, but Risky Skipper does an AoE to the entire board. So if we look at the matchup win rates here, well, I'll just leave this. You can see green is good. Face Hunter, obviously very strong. Look at all that green. Not very strong. Galakrond Priest, contrary to what a lot of people think, Galakrond Priest, not really an issue. So let's look at the power rankings really quick here. We got, we'll start with D1 to D4. Tier 1, Face Hunter, Pure Paladin, Aggro, Rogue. All right, there's a lot of all 3 of those. Aggressive decks. Pure Paladin, obviously not too aggressive, but it's a solid deck, performs well, but the higher up you get, again, it falls off. Got Aggro Demon Hunter up there, Cyclone Mage, Soul Demon Hunter, which is the control one, Miracle Rogue, and Highlander Hunter. And then tier 3 topped by Highlander Priest and Guardian Druid. If we look at Legend, we could see tier 1 still Pure Paladin, and then we got Face Hunter and Aggro Rogue. So Face Hunter actually very, very strong and not too many people playing it yet. I assume that's going to change over the coming days as it's a really hard deck to deal with. It applies so much pressure and no one can really, no one can counter it. You need like, I don't even know, man. I think that deck's going to become a problem. People are going to start complaining about it really soon. Top 1K Legend, Pure Paladin's still up there, which is kind of weird because you really don't see that much Pure Paladin because it gets wrecked by Aggro Rogue. But yeah, then at the top we got some Bomb Warrior and then Highlander Hunter, Soul Demon Hunter, Guardian Druid. But don't look at top 1K meta. The metas are going to be very different. If you're not top 1K and you're trying to play a top 1K deck, it's going to perform differently in top 1K than opposed to your meta if you're gold or something. But you can see Face Hunter, Aggro Rogue, and Pure Paladin are all great choices. If you're looking for something to invest your dust in, Face Hunter and Aggro Rogue are also very budget. All right, so let's look at the meta scores. I am just going to do Diamond 1 to Diamond 4. Maybe I should run a poll, but I feel like most people who watch this are probably around that rank. But Face Hunter, okay, meta score. X-axis, all right, X-axis, that's the power score. Further to the right, the more powerful the deck is. Y-axis is the frequency score, the more popular it is. So I like picking something on the bottom right. And here you can see Face Hunter is actually like the most powerful deck, and it's not even that popular. And then we got Cyclamage looking pretty strong. And then Tempo Demon Hunter, also pretty strong, but not too many people playing it. Highlander Hunter and Miracle Rogue, also good choices if you want to play something off meta. But if you're just looking for the deck to beat, it does seem to be Face Hunter. Face Hunter does counter Aggro Rogue too, and it seems like the only bad matchup for Face Hunter is the Soul Demon Hunter, the control deck, which you don't see too much of because it doesn't do too great against other decks. So yeah, instead of going through one deck from each class like I sometimes do, I'm just going to go over the 3 top decks here because this is for the best decks to get Legend. If you want to see more off-meta stuff that performs well, you could look at my YouTube videos. All the decks there, I think, perform quite nicely if you're just looking to have some fun. But if you just want the best things, what do you think? What should you craft? While the meta is still uncertain, still unstable, you probably got a couple safe crafts here. So yeah, going over those 3 decks, we're going to start with Stealth Rogue. Now, Vicious Syndicate calls it Stealth Hyper Aggro Rogue. It's really just Stealth Aggro Rogue. I don't know why Hyper's in there. The curve is very low, and I guess this one's not too budget. It's 7,120 dust, and this one's kind of interesting because it doesn't run the Cold Bloods. I guess they just don't think that the Cold Bloods are that necessary. Sometimes I guess it's hard to land your Cold Blood and hit them in the face with it because the only thing you can really guarantee that with is a deckhand. Sometimes you put a stealth minion, you don't get to Cold Blood it, and then they wipe your board. You're not able to get value off of the Cold Blood. A Vicious Syndicate likes this list. I think if you want to make it budget, you could drop the Akama, drop the Jandis, put a couple Cold Bloods. If you have one of these 3 legendaries, just keep that one in. If you have no legendaries, just drop another one for a sap. So again, to make a budget, you drop the 3 legendaries, add sap, add 2 Cold Bloods. And then when you play those Cold Bloods, just make sure you have a deckhand, hopefully, or you use it on a stealth minion. Instead of using your mana on an Eviz, use it on Cold Blood if you're able to hit them in the face. Now, this deck is it's incredibly good. Obviously, one of the best decks in the game, and it's because it's a aggro deck that doesn't run out of gas. I kind of visited this earlier, but you have so much draw with the Greyheart Sage, and then with the Secret Passage. Now, Secret Passage is essentially 1 mana, draw 5. And because most of your cards are very cheap, maybe you spend this on 5 mana, giving you 4 mana left, and then you can throw out, a Spy Mistress, an Infiltrator, a Sinister, and a deckhand. And that's just a ton of gas. And then you get your other hand back, and you continue drawing. Scorpid, very good here because it removes something from your opponent's board and also gives you a big stealth minion. And sometimes it actually gives you the lethal if you want to just hit him in the face because the Scorpid can go face. Now, Akama to me is a little bit awkward. It's nice having that 4 health, so he's a little harder to remove even while he's in stealth. He won't die to Skipper or like Whirlwind mechanics. But getting the Akama Prime, sometimes a little bit clunky, a little awkward if you pull that while you're doing like a Secret Passage. Lillian, pretty good. I like Lillian a lot. It's another stealth minion for that stealth consistency with the Sage. But also, she does a lot of damage face. Hard to remove while she's in stealth. Hit her in your opponent's face. Your opponent kills her. Hopefully that goes face as well. Or you can use, or maybe she just ends up being removal. Also, there's been a couple cool lethals that I've done, and I'm sure a lot of people do, where if you put Lillian down, you're looking for 4 damage for the lethal. Maybe you find a backstab through a Secret Passage, or you just had it in your hand. You can throw Lillian down, backstab it, and do 4 damage. So that's really cool. Jandis, a ton of value for 5 mana, a very reliably good card. So if you're going to craft these legendaries, I would say I would honestly go with Jandis over the other 2 because Jandis could also be used in Mage and it's used in most rogue decks, really. Lillian would be my second choice, and Akama, I don't think you really need Akama. Vicious Syndicate likes this list. I think I prefer even a sap over it. So let's look at the next deck here. We got Polkelt Face Hunter. Now, Polkelt Face Hunter is insane. The Polkelt is not that popular. Vicious Syndicate likes it, and I've seen a couple people use the Polkelt, which does guarantee you pull your Dragon's Bane, and then your bows or your kill commands next, followed by the Reader, which will help you draw more cards and dump your hand relatively quickly. So I want to mess around with the Polkelt. It does seem like an interesting inclusion. Now, if you don't have Polkelt, or you don't have Dragon's Bane, you could drop those for a couple Battle Mages. And if you want to make it even more budget, you don't have the toxic reinforcements, I would just put a couple secrets in its place, because right now, the only secret in this build is that explosive trap, right? Which it explodes and it does damage to your opponent's face. So that's great. It's part of your game plan. That's what you want to do. You want to do a lot of damage. This will do that. Now, depending on the meta you're seeing, if you're seeing other aggro, explosive's massive. Great against rogue. If you're seeing a lot of druid, then maybe you want freezing trap and you want pressure plate, right? Those are both very good against druid. So tinker with your secrets according to the meta you are seeing. If you can only craft one of these legendaries, I would go with Dragon's Bane. If you do like Hunter, Dragon's Bane seems to find its place everywhere, and I do think it's a little bit better than Polkelt. But if you have Polkelt, definitely try them out. And again, maybe you want more secrets in here, and to make it budget, drop the legendaries, put those secrets, drop the toxic, put the battle mages, and you are good. This deck just finds an insane amount of damage through that beautiful opening curve, because it always seems like you get a 1-drop into a 2-drop. Sometimes you won't, but generally you do. Intrepid, Initiate, 1 mana 3/2 often. Demon Companion can get you that little huffer. Maybe you pull the Wapple Tinker with a Scavenger's Ingenuity. That feels great. 2 3/3s. And then Adorable Infestation, I think, is such a good card here. Stick a minion, give it that +1/+1, plus you summon a 1/1, and you get a 1/1 in hand, which you can use maybe with the kill command, or you could just use it as an extra token. So Face Hunter, super solid, incredibly good. I might be playing this during my subathon because I need a brain dead deck to get some wins with. So yeah, if you look for budget, this might be the choice, even more so than Rogue, maybe? I don't know. If you're a budget player, play them both. Well, choose one, right? But there's both so affordable. And for Rogue, a quick note on Rogue, Secret Passage is definitely worth the craft. It's an epic, but you need it. You need it. If you don't have the Sages, maybe you can drop them for Readers to make it incredibly budget. Anyway, on to the next deck, which is, I'm going to go over Libram Pure Paladin, because it's so strong in the power levels. And it is a good deck, and it is fun, and it's great for getting to Legend, climbing within Legend, maybe not so much, but getting to Legend, a good choice. Now, it does seem like this list is rather refined. There's not too much more tinkering going on. First day of school and Aldor Attendant, just fantastic. Turn 1 drops. Braggart, a 2-mana card that just it's massive, dude. Maybe you have one of your Libram of Hope minions down, the 8/8 Taunt Divine Shield. You play Braggart, 2-mana 8/8, pretty fucking good. Oh geez, not supposed to cuss. We got Hand of a Doll, which is great for following up that 1-drop. If you go Aldor Attendant into Hand of a Doll, it's so good, man. It's so good. If you don't have that, maybe play a Shot Bot, or maybe you just end up hero powering. You curve into that Goody 2 Shields, which is so powerful with the spell burst to get the Divine Shield back. You got 2 Consecrations to deal with the wide boards, especially all these hunters and these rogues. You want that AoE. You got High Best Allura, which can high roll or low roll, a fun card always, right? Maybe play Allura and then you coin, or you Allura in your first day of school. Maybe cast a Libram of Hope on itself, which is essentially a free 8/8 Taunt Divine Shield. Or maybe it does a Consecration to clear the board, which isn't too bad. Sometimes it's just wasted, or sometimes it'll cast Libram of Justice and kind of just waste it. But maybe it'll even cast Blessing of Authority on itself, which is pretty solid. Casting a Libram on itself, at least you pull a Libram out of your deck, so you could start messing around with that. We do have the Zealot in here and the Lightforged Crusader. These are both the Paladin, the Pure Paladin cards. Zealot being the best between the two, because it does give you that True Silver Champion for free, essentially, with the body, right, and the deck building restriction, but so good to play on 4, or really at any time. We got Devout Pupil. My god, what a beautiful card. A 0-mana 4/5 Divine Shield and Taunt. Blessing of Authority. I'm kind of surprised there's only 1 in this list. I feel like Blessing is nuts. Maybe I haven't played the list. I haven't played the list too much lately. I mostly played it initially when expansion just came out. But Blessing, you can still trade into minions with it. You know, maybe you goody 2 shields, then you put a blessing on your goody 2 shields. Or maybe you just do it on your Aldor attendant or one of your tokens you got off of the first day of school, and you just make this massive minion. Kind of weak to rogues and sap. Really, all these buffs are weak to rogue and sap. Lady Liadrin, ton of gas. Refills your entire hand with all those Librams, those hands of a doll, the Blessing of Authority, the Librams of Hope. So you can get a ton of gas through Liadrin, giving you what you need to beat like those control decks. And then another gas card, we have Lightforge Crusader to give you hand refill. Random spells, sometimes random Paladin cards, sometimes bad, sometimes nutty, but always fun, maybe. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Those are the top 3 decks per the power rankings, per Vicious Syndicate. Again, they'll be linked in the description below. Be sure to check them out. If you like the video, you hit it with the thumb, hopefully in the upward direction. Maybe sub if you want. And if you're watching this today, the day it comes out, I should be doing a subathon soon. I might be streaming 24 hours. We'll see. But you can check me out on my Twitch. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Good luck on ladder and stay hydrated.